Well, hello everyone. It's Leah Mallett here from the Bloom Crew, your Young Living leader. I have had a couple weeks off since my last YouTube video where I talked about the ditch and switch. And I wanted to expound on that because, of course, that involves a more concerted effort of switching your home over. And a very crucial element of that is wrapping your brain around using the loyalty rewards program. In Canada, it's called Essential Rewards. It used to be called Essential Rewards in the US as well, but they've since switched it to being called the rewards program or the loyalty rewards program. And this is something that I touched on in my last video because my husband and my family and I have been benefiting from the loyalty program for 10 years, basically since I started Young Living. And I knew right away when I started experiencing these products that I wanted more of them in my home, wanted more of them in my life. And I realized that the best way to experience them was to be starting to make the switch over gradually. We weren't in a position to do it in a big way, but with when I could see that it was a monthly program, that I could start doing it, bit by bit, and starting to take stock of what I didn't need to buy in the commercial grocery store or box stores anymore. It just made a lot of sense to me as the gatekeeper of my home, and I have never looked back. And I wanted to share with you why this has been so instrumental in my Young Living journey and my journey towards helping to basically boost the overall immunity of my family or overall wellness and sense of well-being. It's just been very, very instrumental. So, sometimes I get members that, by sheer means of how they sign up with me via my Bloom Crew site, I have a preliminary form on my site to help people. I help facilitate that first order on their behalf and with their blessing, of course. And a lot of people will agree to the loyalty rewards program. And even though I explain it to the degree that, the most pertinent information is there, sometimes people panic after that first month and they want to, they either completely cancel the program or they ask what the heck they agreed to. And I feel like, we need to get educated in this area because we all want to get better. We all want to have optimal health. And I have yet to meet anyone that is in such perfect health that they don't feel like they need any improvement on anything. Our human condition is always in a state of possible improvement. And especially in today's day and age, we are bombarded from every angle with toxins in our lives. And as a Young Living member, I've done as much as I can to try and eliminate those toxins. And that's a huge part of our wellness. And I did talk about that in my last YouTube video. But this loyalty program is instrumental in helping me get there. Why? Because it's an investment in my health and the health of my family. And anytime I invest in something, that means I'm making a choice to make some sacrifices. And I'm not just talking monetarily. I'm talking about changing patterns and habits and mindsets that, we often just go with what we're used to, with what we're comfortable with. And that doesn't always work for our overall sense of wellness. If you're raised on using Clorox spray and bleach to get things clean in your home, well, you have to start changing your mindset that there is a better way and that there's a healthier way that your body will respond to in a way that is going to be overall reaching in every area of your life, where you don't have to feel the effects of that anymore. And the effects of it, they go pretty deep when we're constantly exposing ourselves to junk and garbage and chemicals and things. Well, that's got to have its effect at some point, and it often is in compromised endocrine health and perhaps autoimmune responses, or simply skin conditions, breathing conditions. And I did touch on this on my last video. So what is the loyalty rewards program and why am I emphasizing it? It's a program that Young Living offers because they want their members to be able to, number one, afford what they're getting. And sometimes people criticize Young Living in that they're too expensive. I can't afford them. Well, yeah, granted, there is a certain degree of costly value to these products, but then again, there isn't. I mean, you look at, I don't have a bottle here with me, but the Thieves Cleaner is concentrated, and one little capful of cleaner makes a full spray bottle of universal all-in-one cleaner for your home. Well, you get about 29 to 30 spray bottles out of that one bottle. Suddenly that $25 bottle of cleaner makes a whole lot of sense, right? And it becomes actually cheaper than that $4 or $5 bottle of Lysol spray or whatever you use commercially to clean your homes. And you can't always measure thing in price tag either, because you could save all the money that you think you're saving by getting all these commercial products that are so-called cheaper, but you're going to pay for it in the end with compromised health. And that costs you a lot more than money. That costs you quality of life. That costs you time with your family. That can cost you medical bills that you did not see coming. There's a whole lot of expense there that we need to really focus in on and pay attention to. So, I want to help you as a member of Young Living, or a possible member of Young Living if you haven't joined yet, to see how there is immense value in exploring this element of your membership. Now, the Loyalty Rewards Program, or Essential Rewards Program in Canada, is not mandatory. You can have a membership with Young Living and make one order a year of 50 PV, meaning product value, a year for 20 years, and you still have a valid Young Living membership. There is no obligation to do more than that. Now, if you're only making one order a year, you're probably not benefiting to the degree, well, you definitely aren't benefiting to the degree that you could and should be, but that's your journey to make. But I'm here to tell you that you can go way deeper, and you can have a profound impact on your health of yourself and your family if you do so. And the Loyalty Rewards Program, it just made so much sense to us as a family, and that I no longer need to get many, many things in the commercial stores. I limit it to fresh produce and just the absolute basics that I can't find anywhere else when I go shopping. I rarely go into a pharmacy anymore because, number one, I don't need their pharmaceuticals, and I rarely need any of the other things that are in those stores, because I'm getting it through my Young Living monthly order now. And that order is not something that Young Living chooses for me. I get to choose what's in that box that comes to me every month. And because I've switched our whole home over, I have a running list every month. And, we use a lot of consumables with Young Living. They have an amazing supplement line, an oil-infused supplement line, and I've written several blog postings on that I highly recommend that you take the time to read, because that'll kind of blow the lid off of your perception of what you think is working in your supplement cupboard now. That in and of itself is enough reason to be on Essential Rewards, because, I don't reach for even a health food store supplement anymore. If I can get it through Young Living, and pretty well they cover all their bases with all elements of supplementation, I'll get it there because I know it's more powerful and more bioavailable to my body. Why would I get it anywhere else, honestly? So consumables like the Ningxia Red nutrient infused or nutrient dense drink that Young Living offers. Well, Mark and I are both taking that daily, and often our kids take it daily as well if they remember. And that's a non-negotiable staple for our sense of well-being, because it infuses the nutrients that our bodies need to work as hard as we do and to be on our games with all that we have going on our plates here. And so anyway, there's just so many things that we regularly need in our box every month. And being on Essential Rewards helps us to stretch our dollars. So let's just kind of start with the beginning. What does Essential Rewards offer that you're going to want to be on it, as opposed to just doing a random order every 3 or 4 months whenever you feel like you need something? And that's, again, anyone's prerogative is to do it that way. But I choose the rewards program because every time you make an order, they give you a percentage back of that order in points that then start banking and accumulating, and then you can turn around and redeem them for actual product later. And many companies do this, where you build these points on the side and then spend them, and it's at no cost to you. You earn them rightfully, and you get to spend them rightfully, and it's absolutely worth it, I have to tell you. When you start out with your loyalty program, you start out at 10% back. And at month 3, or I should say at the end of month 3, you ramp up to 25% of your order back in points. So if you make 100 PV order, you get 25 PV back in points that are then banking on the side for you to purchase something from their catalog later. And then if you remain with the program, which we have, and we're in it now for 10 years, at the 2-year mark or 24-month mark, you ramp up to 25% back. And that's just one of the many things that you get with Essential Rewards. Now, a new incentive that Young Living just introduced a couple months ago, which I was so delighted to hear about, was at month 2, they automatically send their loyalty members, both in Canada and the US, and probably abroad too, but right now I'm just speaking about North America. They send you an ultrasonic diffuser, a free desert mist ultrasonic diffuser, which is one of their most popular ones over the last 10 years. And this is really great. I mean, that diffuser, I think when I originally bought one independently, because I put a diffuser in each room of our home, and I really love the desert mist, and I think it was $65 to purchase it, and that was probably 65 US. I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, it's very valuable, and I really love Young Living ultrasonic diffusers. Number one, because I've tried others, like even a couple months ago, I was in Canada. We have a hardware / livestock store called PV Mart. And I love PV Mart because, we have a little farm, and there's things in there that I often need for our farm. And it's great. They have many varieties of things to benefit from. And I noticed that they had in their household section a nice little diffuser. It said ultrasonic. And I thought, well, I am missing the one diffuser in that one. Well, actually, our bedroom diffuser creator. And instead of reaching for a Young Living one, I thought, well, I'll try this one and just see if it's the same. And I used it for one night, and Mark asked me to unplug it for several reasons. It was noisy. It spewed out the oils very heavily in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then there was nothing after that. It was basically just a glorified humidifier after that. And thirdly, it had a light that we couldn't cover up. Young Living has all those options where you can have it with light free, and when you're diffusing by your bed at night, obviously you don't want any light, and you want it to be quiet. And anyway, it didn't make the cut, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I'm like, I know better. I'm constantly in a state of learning about what's better, and this is still one of those things that I had to learn the hard way. And it was a $35 diffuser that I basically wasted our money on. Anyway, so that's a really, really awesome incentive that Young Living offers, is that free diffuser at month 2. And I often tell my members, if I'm fortunate enough to have that conversation with a new member, I say, because the loyalty program is optional, meaning you can be in it, you can be out of it, you can start it, you can opt out, you can start without it, and you can opt in later. It is completely your prerogative when you start, when you stop. But let me just share with you some of the things that are of extreme value to if you keep going. And I always tell people, as long as you have things to explore with the Young Living product line, use the loyalty program to get those things. And, you know, many members find me by sheer virtue of getting the thieves oil, and then think that that's all they need and they don't need anything else. And so they don't see any reason to do anything else other than get their thieves, or in other words, oil of the Good Samaritan. And you know, I have to be blunt with people, and I just say, you know, if you put all your eggs in that basket and treat that little bottle of thieves oil as your magic bullet, that's going to be your ticket to wellness, you really need to think that through again, and let me help educate you on what that means for your life. And again, I mean, we need to detoxify our homes and our cupboards, all the things that are in it. We need to get those things out of there and put wholesome things in their place. I've even had people say, well, I don't need to have Young Living cleaners. I use vinegar. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Vinegar, you know, is not toxic. But do I want my home smelling like vinegar? Sorry, I'm just not there. I've experienced the amazing cleanly aroma of my home when I use thieves. I'm not going back. I don't think I've ever used vinegar. I've never liked it. And secondly, vinegar doesn't have any therapeutic value. Yeah, it might have its place in maybe killing some germs or masking. I don't know what it does, but it's definitely not to the degree of benefit that the thieves cleaner has. So, you know, that in and of itself is enough reason to go that route. So another thing that Young Living offers that people don't realize, and you know, there's just so much that I don't like bombarding people when I introduce new members to the benefits of the program. So I can't even cover it all because people can only retain so much. But if you're watching this video and you're taking notes, do so, because you will see that it's worth a try for sure. Automatically when you make your orders, Young Living will send you free oils at 3, 6, 9, and 12 months. They call their monthly loyalty oils, and they automatically put them into your box. So if any of you are on the loyalty program and those oils have showed up in your box, no, they didn't slip in something in there that you had to pay for. That was free. That was just one of the many perks of being on the loyalty program that Young Living wants to bless you with. So that's awesome. Here's another element of the loyalty program or essential rewards program. If you are really, really delving in and you're seeing the need to start digging deep and making some big changes in your home, your orders might be over 100 PV. Now, you don't need to make an order any more than 50 PV if you can't afford to. PV is product value, which is typically equivalent to the US dollar. Now, 50 PV is a minimum in order to qualify you for earning those points back. But at 100 PV, that's when Young Living starts sending you free oils of the month. If your order happens to be 190 PV, you get several more things. It changes every month, so that is fluid. They did pick great stuff. It's never the dregs. It's always great products that they're picking to put in your cart or put in your box, your rewards box, if that's what you're choosing. So 100, 190, 250 PV, 300 PV. And in months that are maybe leading up to Christmas, or when they know that people are doing maybe a little bit of extra shopping for loved ones, sometimes they go up to 350 or 400 PV. Now that may sound like a lot to you, but the value of those things accumulated, I've had all those things added together in product value has been sometimes over 300 PV of free product. And this is for getting things that you're going to get anyway and bless your loved ones with. You know, I have people that do all their Christmas shopping with their essential rewards orders each month because they want to bless their family, their kids, their grandchildren with some of these things. And I tell you, there is pretty well every age level can benefit. There's a whole seedlings line for babies, so you can replace those toxic diaper rash creams. You can replace those toxic shampoos. They're tearless. You know, you can buy tearless shampoos in the grocery store, but are they really that good for your babies? No, they have fragrances in them. They have chemicals in them. They have things that are just should not be on your baby's skin. So there's a Kids Sense line. There's amazing supplements that kids can take that are edible and tasty. And actually, I take quite a few of them because when I take a supplement and it's enjoyable, I'm much more inclined to take it more regularly. It's just the way my brain thinks. I've never been a really excited pill popper. So anyway, there's just so much to benefit from. And if you find that you explore these products for 6 months or even a year, and you benefited from all the free oils that they automatically send, you've got quite a nice pile of points built up, and you want to cash in your points within a year of earning them, because they do disappear if you don't spend them. And sometimes I had to learn the hard way. I actually had quite a few points that started disappearing out of my cart, and I couldn't figure out what was happening. And then I learned. I didn't have a good enroller to help teach me these things. I had to learn the hard way. So anyway, you've got these points. You can cash them in at any time. I always tell people, give it a few months to build up, because you don't want to earn 15 points and then run and spend it. You do have to pay for your shipping. So, you're $9 or $10 of shipping. So wait till you have enough points to merit that $10 shipping cost to yourself. But everything else is free. So that's pretty amazing in and of itself. I just wanted to show you a couple things. I have my Bloom Crew site, thebloomcrew.com, is a place where many people find me and often make their first order. Once people are on board, youngliving.com is then where you make your orders after that. But my Bloom Crew site is a permanent place for people to be educated, to learn more about the oils, to click on links that'll help them to understand what they've gotten themselves into and how to benefit from their oils. And there's also a whole back area that only my team members, when I say team members, that means people that I've personally enrolled or people that on my team have personally enrolled. So basically, if I enroll my neighbor and my neighbor talks to her best friend, and then her best friend wants to become a Young Living member, well, her neighbor then is enrolled under, or her friend is basically enrolled under my neighbor. And they're both on my team. It doesn't matter if I enrolled her or not. So my team is a myriad of many people that, it's kind of like a family tree, I guess you could say. And no, it's not a pyramid scheme. I had someone say that to me just the other day. And, it couldn't be farther from the truth. Young Living has been around for 30 years. Pyramid scheme, let me just break it down to you very simply. Pyramid scheme is something that doesn't offer anything in return. It offers promises that are empty, usually some degree of financial success that is empty, and you don't end up with something in your hands. Well, Young Living is 100% product-based. So if you're a member, like my neighbor, if my neighbor orders something, she becomes a member and she gets her products, end of story. She's part of my team. And yes, I do make a little commission from her sales. Well, I'm pretty glad that Young Living does that, because I work pretty hard to educate people on these products. I'm very passionate about them, about people improving their health and overcoming sickness and toxicity. And I'm glad my efforts are rewarded. So being commission-based does not make it a scam. It just it incentivizes me because my efforts are rewarded. And, I put in a pretty heavy week supporting my team. And I'm glad I get a little check at the end of the month. It's pretty awesome. It's not only a job, but it's a mission for me. And so I'm glad I'm paid or else, I don't know, maybe I'd be out with my horses more or something. Maybe I should. But anyway, my team, so all people that are on the Bloom Crew team have access, and you have to be granted access, so you have to request the access to what's called my team member area. And this is a private member area just for my people that has free resources, completely free. Everything that's in there is at your disposal. So once you're on board with me or with someone on my team, those resources are completely yours to print out, to view online, whatever. You can see right behind me is just a small sampling of many of the things that I offer as PDF downloads. Let me just show you, actually, I have a couple things here You know, this is one of many things. I call them hacks. And this is one thing that I put together because I knew people sometimes need ideas on how to start switching their home over, how to make the best of their rewards program. So I did these PDFs called Work Your Way to a Plant-Based Home. Now, if someone can only afford 50 PV a month, which is the minimum in order to start earning your points back, here's some ideas. So I do month by month, what are some of the things you can get? What are their prices? The prices may have changed actually since I made this. They had to do a little price increase a few months back, but whatever. It's all found online with the current prices. But anyway, so this gives you a basic idea of the things you can start exploring. If you want to ramp up to 100 PV where you start getting the free oils, well, this is some ideas for you there. And these are all available in my team member area in the resources vault. So this is just one example of hundreds of things that you can benefit from. So, you know, call it a sales pitch or whatever, but I really like to support my team, and I want there to be value for you when you do join my team and join Essential Rewards, because that's critical. If you're going to make a difference in your life, you got to get on the program. There's just no two ways around it. There's also files like this. This is obviously the Canadian Essential Rewards. So this is something that you can actually take and print out and give to loved ones and family members or whoever. There's an American one. And these are all, again, at your disposal to use as you will. Build yourself a little binder, whatever you want to do to keep yourself educated and informed. But that's your journey to make. So I wanted to show you as well. I have about a month and a half ago in May, I realized that I had a pretty good amount of Essential Rewards banked up in my, or loyalty points banked up in my personal account. Because as a leader with Young Living, in order for me to qualify for my commission check, I have to make a 100 PV order. And why is that? Because Young Living wants anyone who represents them to be products of the company. So if I'm going to teach about these oils and help others to learn about them, they want me using them too. So I do my 100 PV order a month. I usually keep it pretty close to that. And I just let those points bank off to the side. And every, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 months, I take a look at that and go, oh, I should cash in my points. So in the month of May, I cashed in my points. And this, including this little guy too, this box was free to me. I actually even had some credits in my account, so I didn't even pay for shipping. So it was completely free. And the value of this box, and I'll show you each individual product here in a moment, was over $325 US. So as a Canadian, you know what that means. Multiply that by 1.3 something. So the value of this is huge. All these products didn't cost me a penny because I'm on the rewards program. So that's where, you know, when I ask people, do you want to stretch your dollars? That's what I mean. It's one way of many that the loyalty program does that. So I'm just going to run you through some of these things because I'm pretty excited about what I got in this box. I'm anxious to get using them because I've used them all already at different times, and I'm just replenishing my supply. So first product, this one's called Golden Turmeric. And if anybody uses turmeric in their lives or takes turmeric pills or whatever, turmeric is best known for being inflammation fighting, for reducing inflammation. And as a as a person who's in remission and has recovered from autoimmune Graves' disease, you know, inflammation is a big part of that process. Like I said in my last video, I had buggy eyes when I had Graves' disease full blown, and I needed to get inflammation in my body under control. And so I always speak as if I'm not fully cured. I don't know if it'll ever return. All I know is that it's worked for me for 10 years. Whatever I'm doing, I'm just going to keep doing it. And so I continue on with all the things that I know are supporting my body, and inflammation fighting is one of them. So I take turmeric. It's actually in powder form. And it's actually really tasty. I don't know what they put, not only anything they ever do, although the little seal thing is on there. anything they ever do is always infused with oils, which makes it more bioavailable to your body. And then they often put, other vitamins and things in there to complement, because they work with the science of these things. They know what works best with what symbiotically. Anyway, so I often put this golden turmeric in my smoothies, and I do green smoothies in the mornings, many mornings. That's a great one. You're going to like the taste of that one. Super C Chewable. Now, I'm a Canadian, and this whole box here is actually from the US market. It's not that convenient for us Canadians to order from the US. And the reason sometimes we have to order from the US is that the Canadian market, which only really, came to us here in Canada about, 9 years ago, meaning they opened warehouses in Canada that we can order directly from. But there's only certain things that Health Canada has approved that we can get in the Canadian market. And the rest of it is still waiting for approval, and it's in the US market. So we can order from the US market. And I'll just keep this real easy for those of you that want to know how as a Canadian. When you're logged into your Young Living account, you can simply look at the flag at the top of your screen, and you'll see a Canadian flag. Hover your mouse over it. Drop down window will come down. You can pick the American flag, and it'll switch you over to the US market. It's that easy. It's called the NFR market, meaning not for resale. And why do they say that? Because as a Canadian Young Living member, technically we can sell stuff to our neighbor. None of us really do that because we really just want to help people get their own accounts. But if my neighbor didn't want to get an account, she really wanted a bottle of Thieves, yeah, I'll sell her at retail a bottle of Thieves. But if I get something from the US market, like my golden turmeric, I can't turn around and sell it to my neighbor because it's not for resale or NFR. But it can be for my personal use. So when I make my Young Living orders from the US market, I get things for my personal use, and I'm fully capable of doing that. So in the Canadian market, I can get Super C tablets, which is a very potent Super C supplement, or vitamin C supplement. But I really like the chewables. I honestly do. They might not be as high in their vitamin C content, but I always say doing something is always better than doing nothing. So if I'm having to swallow a tablet, I probably won't be getting my vitamin C as much as if I have the option to get my Super C chewable. So that's what I do. And of course, my kids prefer that too. So I like to keep Super C chewables in my cupboard at all times. A fairly new product to the Young Living market is Ninja Greens. And you've heard me talk about Ninja Red, which is that super nutrient dense drink made with the Ninja Wolfberry. Well, they've infused Ninja Wolfberry into these greens. So this one is packed full of greens. And I often put this in my smoothies as well. I make a pretty potent smoothie for my family in the morning because that's important. I want to start my day off not with sugar and carbs and junk, which is in most of our commercial cereals. I want to start my family off with a boost of goodness, and this is just one of the many things I do. So this is a really good one, and you could put it even in just a glass of water, shake it up, and with maybe some turmeric, and you're good to go if you like that flavor. Mega Cal, this is another really good one. Magnesium, calcium, those two work very, very importantly together. Mega Cal, so magnesium is, we get depleted over time. That's a whole blog posting unto itself. And I'm going to start posting things on individual supplements as my time allows in the near future here. I think that's important. But suffice to say that we get depleted over time with magnesium, and we need it. We need it for more restful sleep. We need it to not get cramps in our legs and our hands and twitchy eyes and all the things, and just overall energy and vitality. And of course, calcium, who doesn't need that? We want to keep our bone density strong and vibrant. So that's another really good one, and it actually is a pretty good flavor. So that goes into my smoothies. And again, you can do any of this with just a glass of water or fruit juice. You don't have to go to the length that I do of making a smoothie, but anyway, that's what I do. Essential Zyme. This is Young Living's digestive enzymes, and very, very critical to the assimilation of what you're eating helping your body to absorb what you're eating into your body so that you can receive all the nutrients that you're supposed to receive from your food, and help break them down too. So help break down your proteins and your fats and all the things. So that's a pretty key one that I think is one of our many staples in our supplementation in our home here. Hi, my son just walked in. I'm doing a YouTube video. Say hi, Kevin.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Say hello. It's our 17-year-old Kevin. He's all embarrassed now.
No.
They just went golfing with their dad. So I thought, what a great time when the house is nice and quiet to do a video. So anyway, one of the other ones, this is actually one of my absolute favorites. This is from the Kid Sense line that I mentioned. It's called Unwind. And it's little packets. I really should have cut this open before I started. Unwind is technically meant for kids, but I say to everyone, anything that's in the Kid Sense line as an adult, feel free to take, because you can only benefit from it. So this is a packet of 30. Let me just make sure I got that right. Oh, it doesn't say, but I think it's a month's supply, because Young Living typically works in month supplies. So these are little packets of, it's oil-infused magnesium, basically, that you take. It's a powder form. You just rip the top off and down it in your mouth, basically when you're getting ready for bed. And by the time your head hits the pillow, you're starting to feel that need for a deep, restful sleep. And you can drift off nicely and stay in that nice, satisfying sleep way better. I find it consistently when I take my Unwind every night, because I do take it every night, I go into a nice deep sleep and I wake up more rested. So I find that to be another invaluable part of my personal wellness regimen. And lastly, Ninja Nitro. So this is an extension of the Ninja Red line. And there's other things like the Ninja Dried Wolfberries. There's I can't remember what else, but Ninja has a few things that are available to us. Ninja Nitro is a cognitive function little supplement, elixir, or whatever you want to call it. This little guy I use when I'm having days that I'm having to need that boost of cognitive fitness. So I'm thinking really hard and I need to focus. And it's really tasty, so it's really enjoyable. But I really find that to be a nice boost when I need it. So that's my $325+ box that was completely free to me last month. And that's the beauty of Essential Rewards. Lastly, I want to tell you something. As a Canadian member, I'm sorry, my American members, this is not a feature of your account, but our Canadian market gave an incentive to us about starting a couple of years ago, where if you actually make your order, if you move your processing date, and that's something you have control over as well, if you move your processing day to between the 1st and the 5th of the month, they will automatically put a $10 credit in your account. And this is a whole other little side bank account you can start banking. So of course, I like to do that because I want to make sure that my order processes right away and I've got that taken care of at the top of the month, and I get that $10 credit. Well, that $10 sits there and banks up. After 12 months, you got $120 in your account. That is, again, something you can spend on product. I want to show you something. So I've talked about, when I did a video on my little milk cow. They have a product called Animal Sense Ointment. They have a whole Animal Sense line. Yes, for animals. It's amazing. So this Animal Sense Ointment is something that I not only use with my animals, my horses, my cow, even my dogs sometimes. I use it with my people. It's a beautiful oil-infused ointment that is very, very wonderful. And of course, now that I'm milking my little cow again, I want to have lots of this. So that $10 credit, I went into my account. I think right now I have over 150 in credits. Well, I went and got myself three jars of this. That equals over $83 US in product, completely free. And that's just from my credits. That's not even from my points banked in the whole other side, little account. That's just from my credits. So as Canadians, move your processing day to that first 5 days of the month and start benefiting that way. So lots of perks. I can't even speak enough about how incredibly beneficial this is on so many levels. But if you are a member who's made that one order months ago, this is your time to start. Honestly, if you started with your Essential Rewards and you bowed out because you were afraid you were stuck with something that you couldn't get out of, don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. You can bow out anytime. You can explore these products, and when you think you're done, you don't have anything else you want to get, bow out. But let me just tell you something. If you bow out, make sure you spend your points first, because those points don't stick around and wait for you. The company will, like, they basically disappear after a week or so after canceling out of the program. So spend your points. If you need to bow out, go ahead. There's no loss. You still have a Young Living account. Your Young Living account is intact as long as you make at least one order a year. Now, if you haven't made that one order a year and you've deactivated, and the reason you deactivate is because if Young Living sees you as not having ordered for at least 12 months, well, you're not using your products, so there's no point in having a membership. But just because you've deactivated doesn't mean you can't reactivate. So that's definitely something that you want to consider if you have deactivated. And sometimes life gets busy, or you haven't explored the products, or you're too afraid of your oils to use them, so they're just sitting there and your account has gone dormant. Well, as long as you have that email that you started your account with, you can still reactivate that account, and you can reactivate under whoever you want to. So if you're under me, great, reactivate under me. If you were under someone else that you didn't get enough support from, you can reactivate under myself or someone on my team. And we're happy to welcome you into our fold of education and wellness and basically awesome community support. There's just so many options. So I'm going to leave you with all that today. I know it's a lot to think about, but there's so much value here. And if you want to explore, do it. You'll never look back. I'm only one person, but I do my level best to try and answer questions when they come. I'm only an email or phone call away, or text. Best to text me or just send a chat through my Bloom Crew chat, because I'm a very busy person. I'm often out in my farmyard with my animals or my garden or whatever, or running kids around because we still have a few left at home. So I do get back to you when I'm able, and do my best to take care of you. But if you have needs and you don't talk to me, then I don't know you have needs. So that's an open invitation to reach out, and let's help you continue with this journey of amazing wellness in your life. You'll never regret it. God bless you folks today, and we'll talk soon.